Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. It's only been a few days since the leprechaun of Leven, Patrick Harvey, said he wants every single property in Scotland to be heated by heat pumps, a vastly expensive, terribly inefficient way of heating a home. He doesn't want anyone to have gas, and he says he's going to punish people who retain their gas heaters. Well, of course, the backlash was very, very swift and very, very large. Indeed, so large that Humza Yousaf has had to come out and do a quick reverse ferret and say, oh, no, we didn't mean it. We don't mean it. It's not going to be as bad as you think, because we understand that this is about the worst idea anyone has come up with in a whole history of really bad ideas. For a start, it would absolutely destroy the economy. Secondly, they're far more expensive to run. They're not as efficient. In some places, they aren't efficient at all. They just won't do the job and people will freeze. So if he wants to make sure that Scotland is a place filled with impoverished, miserable people sitting in cold homes and picking over the corpse of a frozen granny, then he is going the right way about it. But he has sort of semi-clawed back and said, wait. He says he realises that this is such a vote loser that even his own people will vote against it. So, of course, he changes his mind. We'll have a look at that and see why he is reversing so fast his head is whirling. Here goes. So, Humza Yousaf suggests gas boiler energy overhaul could be scaled back, because of course he does. He knows if he tried pushing ahead with it, he's finished. Humza Yousaf has suggested he could weaken his government's plans to penalise those with fossil fuel boilers under an overhaul of energy efficiency standards, pointing to the cost of living crisis and the fact that he will get voted out the moment he tries it. The Herald on Sunday revealed that the Scottish Government's zero carbon buildings minister, Patrick Harvey, the most obnoxious little turd to ever come crawling out of Leven, he said he's set to shake up the EPC ratings before requiring homeowners to meet certain standards at trigger points, such as the sale of a building. So what he's saying is, if you've got gas, we are making the sale of your home illegal, effectively. You cannot sell your home if you've got a gas heater. And yet one of the things that people always look for when they're buying homes is, does it have gas central heating? Because it is cheap, affordable to run, it is efficient, and it is fairly clean, which is why they're using gas in power stations and not coal. I myself have a gas central heating system. I also have a coal fire. And I bought a lifetime supply of real coal because, don't want to get cold. Anyway, as well as the cost of heating a building, the type of a heating system and the fabric of the building should be taken into account, meaning those with gas boilers could see ratings downgraded compared to green methods of warming up homes. There is no such thing as a green method of warming a home. He's saying electricity is green. How are you making that electricity? In very, very not green ways, let me tell you. But the First Minister has now suggested that the proposal could be watered down, saying we'll see how far we get in bringing forward the plans. These plans will never come to fruition. He will be voted out long before anything like that ever happens. Also, we could just burn every house in this country with coal, right? We could just burn coal and use coal for all our power stations, coal for to heat all our homes, everything. And it would make not one jot of difference to the world's global warming, because not while China itself is producing 27% of all the problem. One country. We could close down the country and it'd make no difference. It doesn't make a difference at all. They're talking bollocks. What they want to do is impoverish people to make people reliant on the state as part of the plan by the World Economic Forum, so we can all be serfs. We'll live in our little cosy areas. We'll eat our bug burgers and we'll be happy. It's all shit. It really is. Anyway, asked about the proposals by journalists on a visit to East Lothian, the FM pointed to the importance of reaching net zero and averting climate breakdown. If there's a climate emergency, I want you to hold that, because the very next story will show what the SNP's view on this climate stuff is. It's bullshit, and I'm about to prove it. But next video. Anyway, so first and foremost, he says, you're asking me about efforts to help us tackle the climate emergency in a week where we've seen temperatures soaring to record levels across Europe, and we've seen wildfires. That's got nothing to do with climate change. If you think that, you really don't understand climate. Meaning that people have to be evacuated from their homes, and indeed tourists from the hotels that they're staying in. So the climate emergency is not something that's going to happen in the future. It's something happening right now, for which we have to take action. His words, he's saying there is a climate emergency. And we will prove in the next video that that is a lie. It's absolutely a lie. The man is a liar. Lying liar. And we'll prove it. We can prove it very, very simply. And it's a strange one, because when I prove it to you, I'm going to use the Greens in the only time I think I've ever agreed with anything the Greens have said. But we'll come to that. Asked about the proposed reform of energy efficiency standards, Mr. Yousaf said the energy performance certificates clearly need to demonstrate this and show better information on them and what is more meaningful to individuals. People don't care. People want to be warm. That's all people care about. He said, so there are changes that have to be made to EPC. You live in a cold country and you want to heat houses in the most inefficient way possible at great expense and destroy the economy while doing it. Why? What is your motive for this? It isn't the green emergency. It isn't the climate emergency. We'll see that there isn't one. He said, let's see how far we get in that regard. I think that should say retard, but that's a different matter. But any action we take, he says, whether it's EPCs, whether it's the heat in the buildings strategy, which we absolutely have to make, don't have to make it. What do you mean you have to make it? Who said you have to make it? Your bosses, the World Economic Forum, the man who's paying you. They saying you have to do it. Anyway, he said they're going to be important, vital to do. They're not vital for the sustainability of our planet. If you want to sustain the planet, stop trading with China. Simple. Ultimately, we try to do that in a way that doesn't overwhelm people in terms of their own costs. Well, that's unfortunate, because at £27,000 to £30,000 for a ground source heat pump, that's overwhelming people. And all that money that they're spending to do that, and if they have to get loans out, it's interest to the banks, and then the constant high running costs thereafter, because electricity is really expensive now, then all of a sudden, bang. No money going out into the economy collapses. Incidentally, if everyone's got a ground source heat pump, you're still going to charge them the green tariff on the electricity? I bet you do, because you like money. And what you like most of all is our money. Anyway, the First Minister insisted the targets to transform heating systems to cleaner methods are important for us because the climate emergency, that word again, is happening right now. It's bullshit. We all know it's complete and utter bullshit. It's got nothing to do with the climate. It's all control, and it's all their power over us. And the very fact that he's going to say you're not allowed to sell your home unless you do this is dictatorship. It is absolute abuse of power, telling individuals what they can and cannot do with their own property and their own money, simply because they claim that there's a climate emergency, which I can prove in the very next video is complete and utter bullshit. And he knows it. He knows it. He's just doing what he's told. But I'll round this video off. I'll come up and we'll round this one off, and then we'll go in and watch the next video as well, where I prove that liar is a liar. Okay, coming up. They can't help themselves, can they? They can't do anything but lie, number one. And secondly, it's an exercise, as I say, in power. They want to control. Always control, control, control. Take a little bit of power here. Take a little bit of right there. Take a little bit of freedom somewhere else. Till eventually you're sitting there and you've got none. And it's far too late to do anything about it. They'll be removing the vote soon. Be aware that that is a plan of action. They're already saying you're going to join the EU without having a vote on it. Why? Because they know that if they were given a choice, you'd reject. If you're giving any choice, you'd reject, reject, reject every time. And what we must do at the next election is them. Reject them. Vote them out. Vote against your normal party if needs be. If Labour's strong in your area and they have a chance of taking the SNP out, vote Labour, even if you're a Tory supporter or a Lib Dem supporter. Vote them. Get someone else in. Get the SNP out. Let's utterly eradicate them from politics. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And watch the next video where I prove him a liar. And until then, stay safe, stay well, and remember, you can vote these bastards out. Bye.